I'd say I'm going to show you how to get the Red Widow armor set, which I think looks pretty freaking fantastic in this game. It has moderate weight to it. It comes in at 38 in terms of encumbrance. It has big bleed resistance and big blight resistance. So if you want to get your hands on this awesome looking armor set, here's what you're going to have to do. What you're looking for is a dungeon in Yesha called the Lament. Now, if you didn't get the Lament, you may have to re-roll Yesha in adventure mode and just go out there hunting. So for me, it was connected to the far... In fact, both times that I've had the Lament, it has been connected to the far woods. So that's where I would recommend that you look, but I'm assuming it could pop up as a dungeon anywhere in any of the big expansive regions of Yesha. It will be marked by an arched doorway, not a rectangular one, since it is a side dungeon. Once you find it, just know that this dungeon, the Lament, is kind of like an Indiana Jones kind of a vibe. It's sort of like the Raiders kind of a thing going on here where you're in a crypt. Okay, there's going to be booby traps everywhere. So, and some secret puzzles that are very much inspired by Indiana Jones. So it's kind of a fun dungeon. But it's also not particularly short. This dungeon itself is probably going to take you around half an hour to clear. So you're going to make your way through these arrow booby traps. It can be a little dicey, so keep your head down and keep an eye on the timing of things before you commit to a movement. But once you get through, there's a chest and a lever to turn off the traps, so you can move through there freely from now on. Go ahead and yank that baby. Now there's two directions that you can go. One of them is going to take you to a jumping puzzle. If you end up at a jumping puzzle with a bunch of like platforms to jump in between, this place right here, don't progress. This is the second half of the dungeon, okay? So there's some stuff that you need to get before you can progress past this puzzle. And we'll come back to this puzzle. So this is not where you want to go first. So what you're going to want to do is come through this door, past that lever, into this crypt. And there's going to be these symbols over these dead bodies. And somewhere in this room, there should be a skeleton with a book. Now, it's not always going to be right here, but it will be in this room. And when you open it up, you're going to see a symbol. Okay? And you got to remember that symbol. Maybe write it down, draw it or something, but you got to remember that symbol. We'll come back to it. It will matter in a few minutes. It doesn't really matter right now, but it will matter in a few minutes. What we got to do is clear the rest of this section, which means killing ads, a couple of elites, and one mini-boss. So as you're clearing the ads out of this area, you're going to be coming upon these crypts, these like coffins, these stone coffins. There's one right next to me here. And they have a chance to spawn a mini-boss out of them. So go ahead and open those up and be prepared, because one of these is not going to have loot in it. It's going to have a fight. For me, the coffin that was Stranger Danger was in the far back left corner, and out pops this jackwagon. So you fight these elites all the time, probably in Yesha. You've come across many of them at this point, so you know the drill. You got to take out the outer body. The guy will pop out of it, and then you gotta kill him. Kill him as fast as you can! I had other ads to deal with, so he got away from me just barely, so he was able to make a second body, which he will do pretty quickly. So this time I did not let him get away. But once you kill him, you're gonna get Kulkit's Razor. Okay? Kulkit's Razor. This is an important quest item for this dungeon. So hang on to that, we'll come back to it in a minute. But you're going to keep progressing through the dungeon until ultimately you get to a staircase that's going to take you up to the upper area of that room that we were in with the dead bodies, where we saw the skeleton and we got the symbol that we needed. So now we have access to all of the bodies in this room and this little circular podium, which we'll come back to in a second. Go ahead and unlock the door so you have access to both the top and the bottom. And let's go ahead and start at the bottom. So when you come down here to the bottom, what you want to do is start scanning these bodies. And they each have a sort of tarp or a blanket or a towel draped over them. And on those is a symbol. We are looking for 4 bodies that have the symbol in your book. Now, your book might not be the same as my book. It might not be the same symbol, so keep that in mind. So we're going to start looking at these bodies until we find the symbol that matches the one that was in the book. So for me here, this is one of them. And so what I did is I went ahead and I just kind of have a little notebook next to me and I just drew that symbol down real quick. That one kind of looks like male genitalia. This one looks like a Pokeball. And then come back upstairs and you're going to find you probably found 1 or 2 downstairs and there's going to be 1 or 2 upstairs. So they may be mix and matched. But once you have collected all 4 symbols, you can now go to that circular pedestal and input the combination. So at this pedestal, what we need to do is just make a straight line top to bottom of the 4 symbols that we just found. So as you interact with it, you're going to spin the radials, and the order here doesn't matter. As long as you have all 4 symbols represented here in this line top to bottom, you'll be just fine. Once you've got it, go ahead and enter the combination. It will accept it and the door will roll away. And now we have access to a quick checkpoint as well. So you can go ahead and open up these crypts, get a little bit of loot, activate the checkpoint, and you can go ahead and get a nice little ring here as well. You can see a big sarcophagus down there that we want to access. So here's what we've got to do. What we need to do is come into our inventory, go down to quest items. You're going to see the Culkit's Razor. Now you want to inspect it until you find something you can interact with. And when you do that, shing, it becomes a key. Now you have a key. Now this key does not go to the door next to the checkpoint. So if you go there and you try to use it, you won't be successful. What we need to do is go back the way we came at the original starting point of the dungeon after those arrow traps. And instead of going the direction that leads down to the crypts, we want to go the other direction, which takes us down to that jumping puzzle that we talked about at the beginning of the video. Once you get down here and you're looking out over the abyss, just know that this isn't actually a jumping puzzle. There's no jumping involved. There are invisible bridges that take you from the correct platform to the next correct platform to the next correct platform all the way to the bottom. All you have to do is figure out which platform is safe of the first 3, and then from then on, it's very easy. So here's how I recommend you do that. I'm going to start shooting these platforms, and you can see your bullet hit the rock, except this one. This one, my bullet's not hitting that rock. That's how I know there is a secret bridge there. Okay, so on the other 2, as I was shooting them, you could see my bullet hit the rock. It leaves a little indentation. It glows for a second. This one, there's nothing. It's just disappearing into the void. So I'm like, oh, okay. That's the one. Now, I'm going to look at my feet. I'm going to see the symbol on this platform, and I'm going to line up a perfect line to the next platform that has that same symbol. So it's that same symbol all the way down. Line up a perfect line, and it's just like Indiana Jones, right? It's just like Indiana Jones. Kind of cool. Now you've safely made it to the bottom. Go ahead and open up your chest, get your loot. And here is where we are going to use Culkit's key. Go ahead and insert that baby. Open that door up. Now we are in a special crypt. You get another ring here. Open up that casket for some loot. And now you're like, hey, there's something up there on that boat. I would like to go get that. What do I do? How do I get it? You're probably going to hear an audio cue that sort of sounds like shifting and movement. It's going to let you know there's a fake wall nearby, and you can actually see it glitching if you're observant. So it's going to be right next to the door that we came in from. Just to the right of it, this wall is glitching. Boom, it's a fake wall. You walk through it, head on up the stairs. It's going to take you to the top of the boat where you can acquire a new helmet. Now, this is not the Red Widow set just yet, but since you're here, you may as well grab it. It does look pretty cool. It's a very lightweight piece. So from here, we're going to head right on back up to the checkpoint. Since it was the last checkpoint I activated, I just jumped off the cliff right there, and it puts me right back here where I want to be. Now we are back at the checkpoint. There is another secret. I know, this is very Indiana Jones. Lots of secrets in here. There's another secret door that we are going to find. Not really a door, it's more a pathway. But from the checkpoint, we're going to turn around and break these pots. Aha! Secret room. So now we are down here in these like sort of aqueducts region. And there's a place you can go with a ladder up and another locked door. This is not where we want to go just yet. We need to have the key to access this room, which we do not yet have. So instead, we're going to head back towards the water. Go ahead and drop down into the water. Crouch walk under here, or sprint and slide if you want to be flashy. And you can see glowing red all the way at the end of this aqueduct is something for us to pick up. So go ahead and grab that baby. That is the supply room key, the room we were just at. Head on back down the aqueduct, down the hallway past the ladder into the door. Now we can use this supply room key to open up that door. Shove that baby on in there. Got a little chest here for some free loot. But there's also a little place where you can climb up. Go inside this hole in the wall. And now we are at a series of traps. Now, In this encounter that I had, the traps were kind of bugged out. They're supposed to be staggered, right? So you can walk down, cross, down, cross, down, cross, and zigzag your way safely between the blades. For me, the blades ended up running. The first two, see how they seem to be doing just fine? But then the second two, they sort of got delayed and they got too close together. So I made it through the first two just fine. These two were side by side, which is not supposed to happen, I don't think. But either way, I have a ton of health. I'm running a very tanky build, so I ended up being okay. Head on up here to the sarcophagus that we can see from up top. And here is the complete Red Widow set. And it's pretty freaking cool looking. So feel free to sport that sick gear. Thanks for watching the video. If you found this whole walkthrough helpful, let me know by leaving a like, and feel free to comment and give any feedback. I really appreciate the support on this channel lately. It's been great to see it grow. Thanks so much. We'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.